My mom almost had a heart attack when she woke up to the sound of a knife being tapped on the window glass.
Now she just looks like a rat.
She saw Amanda standing there.
It's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Hey guys, welcome back to another reaction video. Today, I got... Wait. You gotta love the feeling of H2O going down your throat in the morning. Tastes like victory. Okay, wait, before you say anything, I know, I look like trash. It's only because I just woke up, okay? Shut up. Now I got one thing to say to you. Can you please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already? Because if it's gray, I'll be very happy for you. You're in a good club. But if it's red, I'm gonna come to your house. I'm gonna slap you. I'm gonna slap you across your face, and then I'm gonna hug you because you're a good person. Today we're gonna be reacting to, if you haven't already if you haven't already read the title, we're gonna be reacting to Scary Stories, True Scary Stories. So get your popcorn, get your favorite drink, get a blanket, sit in the dark room, grab your dog, grab your grandma, grab a friend, grab your toaster, I don't know, grab some milk, who cares, just watch the video. Let's get started. Before we start the video, I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy B Boosta, something like that. He did the video, and I just want to give him a shout out. So no copyright strikes. What? I didn't hear. I'm sorry. I don't know what you just said. Let's get into the video.
So this story didn't happen to me, but I heard it many times when I was growing up. Well, my grandparents owned 80 acres about 20 miles east of Snowflake, Arizona. They had moved to the land in the early 80s after my grandfather had retired from the mine. The land was pretty barren, and I really don't know why they chose to buy it. Red sandstone bluffs and dry washes cut across the landscape, dotted with juniper and cedar trees.
Don't make fun of Arizona.
Just pretty much red
sand everywhere. Beautiful state. I don't know what you're talking about.
I suppose at the time that the land was cheap. They didn't have close neighbours, though. The closest was about a mile away, which was my aunt and uncle. The next closest neighbour was a man named Stoddard. I never got his first name, just Stoddard. He lived about 4 miles away from my grandparents at the base of one of the sandstone bluffs, apparently.
What kind of psychopath parents?
He was just a terrible rancher, from what my grandparents said.
Whatever.
He thought that he owned everything and was entitled to do whatever he wanted. More than
His
once,
name
my
Chad?
grandpa had caught him cutting my grandfather's barbed wire fence to let his cattle into my grandpa's land to graze. But anyway, long story short, this guy was just a jerk. Now, this area is actually full of ancient Anasazi ruins. Most of them have been destroyed by ranchers with backhoes trying to find pots to sell and whatnot. I'm sure Stoddard was one of them, in fact. But the story goes that one day after losing a calf, Stoddard stumbled upon a cave sealed by a giant slab of sandstone against one of the sides of the bluff. Curious about it, he used a backhoe to remove the boulder. After going inside, he discovers a burial cave, and I'm sure that he was delighted. He starts taking things from the burial cave and selling them. And well, from that moment on, he just had some really terrible luck. First, he lost about $500,000 in the stock market. Then his cattle all got diseased.
Bye-bye.
He was pretty much in financial ruin, and he gets another blow. His wife gets diagnosed with an extremely rare disease and dies. Then Stoddard gets thrown from his horse and loses his ability to walk. And this all happens within a couple of years, mind you.
Bruh.
He tells everyone that he knows that he's cursed from the burial ground. They all laugh it off, but Stoddard puts all the artifacts back that he still has and seals the cave back up with the boulder. And then he simply abandons all his belongings and just up and leaves one night. This is in the late 1980s, but fast forward a couple of years since Stoddard abandoned his ranch house.
Yeah, okay. I'm thinking. I can't see it. I'm sorry, I don't have enough brain cells. I can't.
Decides to move up to Snowflake to be closer to her parents. Stoddard's house is actually fully furnished still, and so my aunt and her husband move in. He finds a job working nights at the local paper mill, and at first it seems like a nice little place. Creepy at night, admittedly, but not too bad. But then, weird stuff starts happening.
Weird stuff. Oh my god, did another person die?
Starts hearing
Dude.
faint chanting and
That's
drums
weird.
She brushes it off. She had a hippie neighbor that lived about a mile away up on the bluff, so she figures that it must be one of them doing, well, hippie stuff.
Well,
But she
drugs,
just can't help but
getting
feel
high,
like
y'all know the
something
tricks.
is always watching her all the time. She starts having terrible nightmares every night, but chalks it up to being alone and hormones and whatnot. She finally tells my grandpa about it, and he loans her his dog to keep her company at night. She drives the dog out there, but he just refuses to get out of the truck. The hair on his back is straight up, and he's growling now.
Alright, Rover. Sorry.
She gets freaked
Time to
out
put you
and
down.
figures that maybe he saw a rabbit or something and hauls him into the house. The dog just stares at the door all night.
It's cross-eyed.
Growls. That night too, he growls and barks pretty much all night, all throughout the house. The drums and the chanting are louder this time. And the next morning, my aunt finds human bare footprints around the house.
Whoa, bro,
This goes on
that's
for
so
about a week
interesting.
too, and
But
the
I don't
dog
remember
barks and growls
asking.
at night, nightmares when she goes to sleep, footprints in the morning. The chanting and the drums keep getting louder, and finally, feeling like she's losing her mind, she asks my grandma to come over and stay the night with her. Grandma is more than happy to do this.
Great. What's your
After
grandma
finishing
gonna
the
do?
chores, She heads over, planning to make my aunt a nice meal. This is late in the afternoon now that my grandma is there. My grandma decides to take a little walk at the base of the bluff. My grandma was actually a very religious person. She
Never
was
mind,
very
I lied,
active in
sorry.
church and devoted
What?
her life to Jesus. As she was out on her little walk, she likes to look for pottery shards or arrowheads and stuff like that. A little ways from the house, she gets a very unnerving feeling that something is watching her, though.
Bro.
She said that it made her skin crawl, and she could sense something evil. So
Sense
my
something
grandma
evil. Just
prays
turns around,
and walks
it's an
back to
owl,
the
it's
house,
just-
pleading the blood of Christ.
Dear God.
She decides not to say anything to my aunt, who is awake, because she's already pretty frightened. But she tells my aunt that maybe it's a better idea to stay at Grandma's
Grandma
house
got
tonight.
ran over by a
My
reindeer.
aunt
Sorry,
actually
copyright.
agrees. By
Reindeer.
the time my aunt gets
What?
her stuff together, though, the sun is about to go down behind the bluff. Grandma, aunt, and dog all load up in the pickup.
Pick it
Grandma
up.
turns the key and nothing. She tries again. Nothing. Not being very mechanically inclined, Grandma goes into the house to call Grandpa, but he doesn't answer.
What a nerd.
And she remembers that he was going into town this afternoon, and dang. So they unload and go back into the house, waiting for Grandpa to get home. It's nighttime now. No moon. It's dark. The dog begins its low growl again. The sounds of chanting and drums begin, faint at first but growing louder. My grandma begins to pray between calling Grandpa.
Just hear that in the
Remember
background.
too that this is a time way before cell phones.
Dear God.
And all of a sudden they hear something howl outside. Not
Whoa,
a
it's an
coyote,
animal,
but
bro!
something more ominous and large.
We got another scary story for you, but this time it's gonna be animated, so hope you still enjoy it. But shout out to my boy, Wance Entertainment. Wance. I don't know how to say your name. Shout out to him, because copyright. I had a girlfriend who stalked me. Bet.
Dan. This happened 3 years
This boy
ago.
looked like Jacksepticeye.
I
What
moved
you
out
mean?
my parents' house once I started making a steady paycheck. I'm a plumber, and one day I had to go to someone's house to fix some pipes. There was a married
Jacksepticeye
couple
Mario,
and
bro?
their daughter living there. Their daughter was 22 at the time. She was 6 months older than me, and her name was Amanda. While I was
Oh, you
working,
already
she
know.
was talking
I
to me.
mean, I was thinking of a Karen, but like, no, it's Amanda. Yeah, get out, run, just get out of the house now. Just that you're dead. Sorry, bro.
And if I was single and stuff like
Look at that
that.
face.
And to be honest,
What's up with that
she seemed
face?
pretty cute. We exchanged phone numbers and eventually started dating. And she even moved into my house. We were 3 months into our relationship, and stuff started to get out of hand. She was always getting mad and annoyed so easily. She always started arguments, and so on. This began to happen all of the time. even in public, which was incredibly embarrassing.
Eh.
One day I had enough, and I had to break up with her, and I told her to leave and never come back. Amanda was pretty pissed off when I said that. I just ignored her when she was packing her stuff. She finally left.
Look at that face, bro.
So
This
I
looks
thought.
like from, what's
After
it
that
called?
day, she would always show up at my house,
JoJo's
harass
Bizarre
me,
Adventure or
throw
something,
rocks in my
bro.
window, and so on. I'd called the cops many times, but she was gone by the time they showed up. About a month later, when I came home from working, I would find her in her house, yelling at me to come back, or I'd find writing on my walls that would say, "Come back, or I'll kill you." The writing eventually went from pencil to marker, and then her own. And Jess, I'm being serious when I said blood. That bitch carved my name a bunch of times into her arms and legs. She only got into my house because I forgot to take the house key back from her at the time. In hindsight, I'm such an idiot.
Jacksepticeye
That
having a
psycho
stalker,
who
bro.
my
Oh
parents
my
saved
god, it's
showed up to my
Jacksepticeye's
house
mom.
during the night.
Dude.
My mom almost had a heart attack when she woke up to the sound of a knife being tapped on the window glass.
Now she just looks like a rat.
She saw Amanda standing there, staring at her, while psychotically smiling at her. Amanda did a lot, which really pissed me off.
And now he just
So
looks
one
like a
night, I decided to stay
psychotic
overnight at my
anime
parents'
character,
house.
bro.
It was about 2 in the morning when I heard a tapping noise in the window next to me. I
What's
turned
up,
and saw
bitch?
Amanda staring right at me. Her eyes were wide open and red. She had bags
She
in her
looks
eyes,
high.
and a huge smile.
Yeah.
I went outside and started yelling at her to stay away from me and my family. But she screamed at the top of her lungs and charged at me with a knife. I punched her right in the face, which knocked her out. I called the cops and made sure Amanda didn't wake up while
See,
they were arriving.
this is what I do whenever, even a girl, bro. If a girl is coming at me, if it's a girl, she's coming at me with a knife, you may have a psychotic face. This is what I do. No, I don't slap her. I don't push her. I punch her forcefully until she gets knocked out. That's what I do, bro. Logic.
This came quickly while Amanda was knocked out. They found my house key on her, and she was arrested and eventually
Yeah,
sentenced.
bro, I tried
for a
calling the
while.
suicide
After
hotline,
Amanda was
but
sentenced,
freaking Logic
my parents
picked her
and I
up,
moved out
bro.
of
That's
state
so interesting.
because
I
we'd like
wonder
to
what
stay as far
happened.
away from Amanda as we possibly can, because she will eventually be released.
Okay, buddy. Okay, so now this next story is called Creepy Stranger at a Hotel. I have no idea what this is, but let's get into it.
Me at the beginning of this year, just after I lost my husband to meningitis. I had moved in with my father and taken a job at a local hotel. It was a nice, cushy job that wasn't very stressful, and it was also nice to me in my grief-stricken state. The job was the night shift front desk manager position.
I already did one of these.
So
if it's
I
the
was
night
watching
shift, you're
scary
screwed.
movies or listening to creepy podcasts that seemed to help keep me awake. My husband had never liked scary things like I did, so it was nice getting back to something
What's up
that
with your
was
fingers?
mine. Being the night worker, I was always by myself during my shift.
Nah.
The hotel was new, so it wasn't creepy to be by myself. Especially since there was always someone around as far as guests went. And on top of that, my boss was always a phone call away. I knew I'd have backup if needed. Anyway, it was a night like any other. I was in the back office behind the desk. What?
See, this is how I twirl a pen. I just keep my finger still and it just does it by itself. See, gravity doesn't apply to me. I am God. You see, I don't know. Just see this finger? See how bent it is? This is how I'm controlling gravity right now, bro. You see it now? Just kidding.
Watching the cameras and listening to a podcast while twirling a pen around, waiting for hours to tick away.
What's up with your fingers? They're so
The
junky.
hotel was pretty empty, so I felt more alone than usual. I looked down at my phone as my podcast ended and went to pick another one when I noticed movement outside the building on the cameras.
Oh god, it's an
A
animal.
guest was walking in. I hadn't seen a car pull in from the driveway camera, but I chalked it up to me just not paying attention and went to the desk. The man walked in and I quickly noticed
This
his
boy looked like
clothes
Jeff
were
the-
dirty.
No, this boy
tattered,
looks like the
and
gay
that
version
he
of
had
Jeff the
this
Killer.
odd smell to him. Metallic smelling.
Like no nostril movement,
I
bro.
shook off the weird feeling and looked up at his face before greeting him. and I noticed that his eyes weren't on me, but the wall behind, just above me. I followed his gaze, wondering what he could be looking at, but there wasn't anything
I already know
there.
what's gonna happen. You turn
I
around,
was
he's right there!
confused, but thought maybe he was lost in thought.
I
I
lied.
greeted him again, but his gaze still remained on the wall. I was starting to get freaked out, but kept my cool and cleared my throat.
Kept my cool,
Sir,
went up to him,
is
gave him
there
a beer.
something I can help you with? I asked more firmly. Quickly, his eyes flicked down, and those eyes
What
were
the
wide and crazy looking. It startled me enough that I took a small step back. His previously
Dear
blank
God.
expression grew into that of a crazed, wide smile.
Yeah, he's a
He was
gay version
missing
of Jeff the
teeth.
Killer.
And the second his lips parted, I could smell his rotten breath. It made my stomach churn. Before I could open my mouth, I watched his eyes slowly creep up and down my body, as if he were undressing me with his eyes. Then his eyes moved to my hand, and his smile faded into a hate-filled glare. His eyes were on my wedding ring.
What a nerd!
Well, yes, I still wore it, as I wasn't ready to give it up yet. "What the heck is that?" he asked, his voice thick and
I'm sorry, wait. That kind of man just said heck? Bro, that's such a bad word. I can't have that on my channel, bro. You could say
"My wedding ring, sir. I'm married," I said, thinking maybe he was drunk. His glare got worse
Okay.
as his eyes met mine again. "Married? You lying. You never told me you were married. You lied to me." "Sir, I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm afraid that I'm going to have to ask you to leave." I was so scared at that moment, but tried desperately not to cry. He was still shouting at me. "So you're kicking me out of my own home? You're a little hussy. I'm taking what's owed to me. Get over here." He reached across the counter to try and grab me, and I let out a scream, stumbled back, tripping over my long skirt. I crawled quickly for the office door as he rushed to the counter. He grabbed my shirt, tearing it down the back as I went to slam the door shut, and I slammed it on his hand, making him scream in pain as I heard the bones break.
that does not look okay.
As he let me go, I managed to finally shut and lock it before going into my boss's office. And as I dialed 911, I could hear him screaming at the office door, kicking as hard as he could to get it open. The operator stayed on the phone with me until the cops arrived. It took 3 grown officers and a taser gun to take him down and get him in the car.
Boy,
When
with
everything was
Batman.
safe, I was sat down for a statement, and my boss and father were called.
Which one's the father?
As my father was getting me into his truck, I heard an officer say that the man was a highly wanted man from Florida who had escaped
Who goes to
a
Florida?
psychiatric facility.
You already know he's crazy when he moves to Florida.
After he escaped the facility, he went looking for young brunette girls who were heavyset like me, or rather like his late wife. He had killed her and cut out her eyes and done the same to 2 other girls in Alabama, so I could only guess he planned to do the same to me. Thank God for strong deadbolts and all of the police officers.
Don't look at me like that, you crazed freak. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and also hit the bell icon. And don't forget to share with your friends so you can get to see more of my awesome videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.